those who don't know, I'm Karen Dion, and I'm the author of two psychological suspense novels. One is called The Marsh King's Daughter. My newest is called The Wicked Sister, and they both take place in Michigan's Upper Peninsula wilderness. I'm also one of the co-founders of this new endeavor, The Back Room, and Hank Philippi Ryan is here too. She might end up in one of your breakout rooms. So the two of us have been working on this together, and we really want to thank you all for coming. We're going to have a good time tonight. Briefly, I want to introduce our authors. We have John Land is the USA Today bestselling author of the critically acclaimed Texas Ranger Caitlin Strong novels, the most recent of which is Strong from the Heart. He's also written 6 books in the Murder, She Wrote series and has recently taken over Margaret Truman's Capital Crimes series as well, the first of which, Murder on the Metro, publishes in February. So I know you're going to want to ask him the same thing I'm wondering, which is, does he ever sleep? Okay, so you can do that when we're in the breakout rooms. Sarah Stewart Taylor is the author of the Sweeney St. George mystery series and the new Maggie Darcy series, launched in 2020 with The Mountains Wild. The second Maggie Darcy novel, A Distant Grave, will be out next June. Sarah is a former journalist and a writing teacher, and she lives with her family on a farm in Vermont. Edwin Hill is the Edgar and Agatha nominated author of Little Comfort, The Missing Ones, and Watch Her. He lives in Boston with his favorite reviewer, his dog Edith Ann, who likes his first drafts enough to eat them. Valerie Rees is an internationally best-selling author who writes with her sister Lynn under the pen name Liv Constantine. Their works are in development for film and television and have been translated into 27 languages.
Wow.
Yeah. Lynn Constantine is not only the other half of Liv Constantine, so she's a best-selling author whose work has also been translated into 27 languages, but she also writes under the pen name L.C. Shaw. Her most recent publication is L.C. Shaw is the Silent Conspiracy. So I want to ask Lynn too, how it is that it's possible that she can be writing as two different people. That's a nice question to get into. So we're going to now start, before we break up into the breakout rooms, we're going to play a little game of 20 questions with our authors. And we're going to just have a little fun with it. So authors, just answer quickly, first thing that comes to your mind. They're not prepared for these questions. I'm going to start with Lynn. How long have you been writing?
Wow. Writing professionally, probably 15, 20 years, but writing since I was a little girl. I've always loved to write and tell stories.
Lovely.
I'm not going to tell you how many years that is, Karen, because that would tell you my age.
No, I wouldn't begin to. Edwin, what book made you want to be a writer?
It would be Agatha Christie's. It's one of her early novels, Set at Styles, but not the very first one. The Seven Dials mystery. I just loved it.
Wonderful. Valerie, what's the first thing you do when you get an idea for a book?
Oh, I call in and we talk about it.
Perfect. Yeah. And Sarah, do you read your reviews?
Oh, I do. I used to be a daily news reporter, and you can't be a daily news reporter for very long without developing a very thick skin. And I like to read the good ones and the bad ones. And I can't say that the bad ones don't hurt a little, but I read them all.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know if it's masochistic or what it is, but yes, I read them all. John, is your desk messy or tidy?
I think it's somewhere in the middle because it varies by the hour, sometimes by the minute, certainly by the day. I think it's relatively neat. I mean, I could turn this around and show it to everybody. It's not a lot here. I know where everything is. And I think the definition of having a neat desk is if you know where anything you need is and you can get it right away, then your desk is neat. Doesn't matter what it looks like. It's how functional it is.
There you go. I'll agree with that. Lynn, what's your favorite word?
Gobamoosh.
I knew that.
Okay, a little more, please.
So Gobamoosh means someone who's extraordinarily naive. And our father used to love giving everybody nicknames, and he always had funny things, kind of funny nicknames for everyone. And so when Valerie and I came across that word, we were saying that he would probably have loved that word. And it's just, I don't know, something about it is, it's a mouthful, but it's a funny word. And just to say, oh, you're such a gobamoosh, and most people don't know what it means. So that's good too. You can insult someone without their realizing it.
I guess if you say it with a smile on your face, they'll never know, right?
Gobamoosh, yeah. It's like,
Okay. Edwin, what word can't you spell?
Oh God, many, many words. I'm a terrible speller, but I will tell you one word that I couldn't pronounce. Well, one word that I learned only through reading and mispronounced for like a decade was epitome. I would say I would say it phonetically in my head for years.
Yeah.
Know me. Okay.
Epitome.
Yeah, epitome.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Valerie, what word do you use too much in your writing?
In my writing, nodded. He
Mhm.
nodded. She nodded. They, right.
Yep, I think we all do. And we're all nodding as we agree with you. That's the end of our 20 question game. I have one more question for each of you though. And what book have you read recently that you think everyone should read? Let's start with Lynn and we'll go in the same order.
Sure. So I'm reading right now Deep Work, Rules for Focused Success in a Distracted World by Cal Newport. And I'm finding it very helpful because I am very active on social media. And, unlike John, I feel like I should answer my emails in 2 minutes, which is detrimental oftentimes to the writing process. And so this is a dive into what it really looks like to focus and to spend a focused amount of time without any interruptions from email, social media, how to learn how to be bored, how sometimes, I know for me, I'm writing and then I get stuck for a minute. So I'm jumping over onto Twitter, Facebook. So I have a feeling this is going to be a game changer for me, and people may be seeing a little bit less of me on social media possibly, but that's okay. So
Sounds quite fantastic. Yes.
Yeah.
Valerie?
Oh, I haven't finished this book. I've just started reading it, Becoming Bulletproof. And it is what it says under here: protect yourself, read people, influence situations, live fearlessly. And the author is Evie Poumpouras, and she's Greek. And she is a female Secret Service agent, or was. So far the book is fascinating. It's sort of like taking control of your mind, your life, your possessions. And one of the things that I found especially interesting, and this is right at the beginning of the book, is that we are only born with 2 fears that are inherent in us. The fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Every other fear, or any other fear that any of us might have, we've learned, which I thought was really pretty fascinating. So she talks about how to address fears and how to, how do you react to situations? Do you freeze? Do you freeze, flight, or fight?
Fascinating.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's been fascinating so far.
Cool. Okay. Edwin, I think I skipped over you.
Oh, I could use that book. Get over my fear of sharks. I'm recommending this book. It's called The Truant by Kate Weinberg. It's fiction. It's a first book, and this sort of checked off 3 boxes that I love in a work of fiction. It's set in the English countryside. It's set in academia. It's set at sort of a second-tier college in the countryside in the UK, and it involves obsession. And I love all 3 of those things in a novel.
Nice. Sarah, what book would you recommend?
So I'm right in the middle of Winter Counts by David Hecka Wombley Wyden. This is a book that's been getting a lot of really great attention, and I can tell you it's well deserved. It's a beautifully written novel. It's it checks a lot of boxes for crime fiction fans. It's sort of a great police procedural, but at the same time, it's almost like a private eye novel. And it's a thriller too. And it's about violence and America and violence, and it's about identity. And it's just it's really blowing me away. So I'd highly recommend it. And I think you're going to be hearing a lot more from David Haskell Wombly Wyden. I think he's a real rising star.
And
Nice.
that's set on an Indian reservation.
Yes,
Right?
it's set on the Rosebud Indian
Yeah.
Reservation in South Dakota. And it's just, reading this book, I just kept having this thought that I just felt like no one else could have written this book. It's, it just feels so completely imagined and just, just so fully written and imagined.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
That's very cool that you're reading it and recommending that, because David is going to be a guest at the back room coming
Oh,
up.
that's so exciting.
I should have made a note of the date. I think it's December 20th, but you can check the website and find that out for sure. So you could sign up, Sarah, and go all fangirl. Yeah. John, your recommendation, please.
I just finished Dark Sacred Night, which is the first in the book where Harry Bosch meets Renee Ballard for the first time. I always enjoyed Michael Connelly's Lincoln Lawyer books, but I had actually discovered Harry Bosch only about 2 years ago, and I fell in love with Connelly's writing anyway. It's so simple, it's so sparse.
Wasn't that fun?
And
We hope that you enjoyed this taste of what a backroom event is like. The best part comes immediately after, when the audience is divided into breakout rooms and the authors visit each room in turn. We'd love to show you what a breakout session is like, because these relaxed face-to-face conversations are the hallmark of our backroom events. But breakout sessions are never recorded. What's said in the backroom stays in the backroom.